Hi everybody, it's Andrea. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I want to take a second to show you my completed tea time journal. I had been working on this for a couple of years, set it aside after I started on it a couple of years ago and then came back to it. And as soon as I finish with this video today, she will go on to her forever home. So I wanted to do a quick flip through on the video, a video flip through to kind of just be able to show you some of the pieces. I will link everyone and everything that I have available in the description box. I'm going to say names really quickly. Don't fret that you didn't write them down. They'll be in the description box below, especially the primary digital running through here. I will link them because I know it's still current. There are some digitals that I printed a couple of years ago that are no longer current, and so I don't have a way to access them any longer. Okay, so the journal has the pocket on the front with just miscellaneous ephemera in it, 2 little tea bags, and then the inside has Sheila's hand-dyed velvet stitched to the Craftex. This tag, it's a very large tag, and it was one that I used for a layering. I was teaching some layering concepts. So there's multiple layers of different textiles and things in here. This is the digital image that I can't seem to find right now, but this is the primary digital set that I used throughout the journal. And so there's some vintage lace here that was really fun to use to cover that outside of the first signature. Lots of pocket and tuck space, places for people to write, places for people to store ephemera. Not everybody uses our journals for writing. Some of them just store them as, sorry, you're seeing more on my arm than anything, but these are lined, and it's a pocket that will hold them, and other ephemera, and these bead dangles. I've made them, but Sheila actually made all of these that are in here. So different tuck spots and lots of places to store things, to write, to create memories, and or just to have fun looking. So this has Barbara Nicki Seavy's hand dyed and hand beaded appliques on a belly band that's covering some tags, and her work is absolutely beautiful. This is a fold out with some tags on it and some tags in it. So there's really fun. I love stitching on paper. I love adhering pieces together and giving it some depth and texture. Another one of Sheila's dangles. And one of the things you'll notice, so there's a distinct color change between this and this. And I was at the time working with a really diluted Mod Podge, and to give it a little bit more depth and texture. And so then this ended up being laser printed, where this was inkjet printed, and I had the Mod Podge over it. This is a tag and gives the opportunity for some writing plus other space to store items in here. Lots of writing space, lots of lined papers, the first signatures, middle beads. This again is Leniecki's embossed papers, hand dyed. She hand dyes them, so they're all different. The variations are really beautiful. And tags again. These are not necessarily images that I can get anymore. I've searched for them, and they're on my old computer, and I couldn't find them again in Etsy. So I'll keep looking though. And then this, I took one of the pages and then just made it into a writing board so that there's a place to do active journaling. More writing space and more tags, and another belly band with more of Nicki's hand-dyed and hand-beaded appliques. Her Etsy shop I will link, and she makes beautiful items. A lot of people on this, it's an interesting color combination because a lot of people that use this one will lean towards the reds, and I actually went more towards the pinks and pulled pinks and greens out instead of focusing on the reds. 2 different colors, so same image, 2 different colors One was printed on white parchment and one was printed on gold parchment. And so different textures of paper and then different coloring of that paper prior to any tea dyeing and such will give you a lot of extra variety, even if you're using the same images. So I have some more tags that go in here in another pocket. Get back in there. There we go. Well, I have a lot of, I put some tutorials out, and one of the things we talk about is whether or not you should ink your borders. Inking a border will give it a very distinct pop, whereas if you want something to not stand out, then, and you just want it to blend in as if it's one piece of paper, then you don't necessarily ink your border. And so that is the end of signature 1, and here is the beginning of signature 2. A tea-dyed doily with some trim, and again you can kind of see a little bit of that sheen. And you can see it there, I was working back then I was working with the Mod Podge. This was fun. I took some really super matte chalk paint and watered it down and ended up just barely brushing over this, and so you can see just a little bit of that. And then put some textiles on there, and it makes a nice little fold out. My favorite thing to do, one of my favorite things, is to make paper ruffles. I have a tutorial on my channel about making those paper ruffles if you're interested. And a corner pocket that has some different tags that are just in there for writing with some fun sayings. A large corner pocket because I didn't want to take away from the artwork. A belly band with just a single tag in it, and what I was trying to do is stop my madness because I always add a lot of depth and as far as adding things, and it makes it so thick, so there's lots of room to add things, and the owner will be getting a large stack of ephemera to go along with her to add to it. This was really fun. This was a collar, and it was the only piece that I had, and it just felt like it worked really well there. So I do want to show you something. You know, lace is its own beast, and this was a piece of really old lace, and you can see basically that it's damaged if you wanted to look at it that way. But by putting it onto something solid and not having it have instability, it actually gives a lot of depth, texture, and a lot of pop to it. So don't be discouraged if you have lace that you feel is damaged. Look at it as an opportunity to add it to something, and it will end up bringing it out and making it useful again. So there is a belly band there. Now, this was interesting, and I got a lot of comments and questions on this. I did some fussy cutting, which is not my forte. I can be honest with you about that. Nicki Seavy is sending me some of her hand-dyed appliques, and I didn't get them in time to make this video, but I'll share them later. But these were really just white. They were little white appliques that I bought online, and then I adhered them with glue to the varied colored papers that I had sitting left over from printing, and adhered them to the page. They were a little bit thicker than I could deal with, so I ended up just making this into a writing board. But they were really easy to do. And so think in terms of your appliques. They have, this one really won't help you, but when you have an applique that has some transparency to it, no, I don't have something, you can actually enhance it by adhering it to something with color. So just some different pages and tags, and again, some more fussy cutting. Not my favorite, not something I'm good at. I love this digital. It has, and I used on the cover, they have tea bags, which are super fun. And again, you can see Marjorie's gold spray on her papers. This was just a fold out that will hold lots of ephemera, and sits in the center of the signature where the second set of signature beads is located. So this goes together with that, even though I'm not super fond of fussy cutting. It seemed like they needed to belong together. So more fussy cutting. I'm just not good at it. I don't know. It's not fun. For me, it's not. Some people absolutely love it and they'll sit for hours, and I just don't. Again, it's a little glossy because I was using that really dilute Mod Podge and a tea dyed doily. And then there's that image that was covered with those appliques. More tags and lots of places for writing. Lots of beautiful writing space in here. Pocket that has a lot of library cards stuck in it. And more beads. And then a lace pocket that has postcards and other cards tucked in it. I did this on purpose. This is on the diagonal on purpose because I wanted to use different lengths and I wanted it to have some depth and some pop. And so sometimes we get really into a habit of being neutral. We get very just straight edged, and we're working with a rectangle. And so don't be afraid to work from the inside. Don't be afraid to go off on the diagonal. Just another tag. Writing space, and this is the last page and the back. So like I said, I will link as many available items in my description box. If you ever have any questions about my journals or interested in them, please let me know. This one is going to head out in a few minutes to her new space in life, and I hope that she is enjoyed with lots of tea and lots of love. I appreciate you guys watching today. Have a good day. Bye-bye.